Welcome back, Albert here. Today, we will be talking about Tar-Ciryatan, the 12th ruler of Númenor. Ciryatan was born in 1634 of the Second Age, and was the only child of Tar-Ministir. Ciryatan's name means shipwright. He had a great love of ships, ship lore, and shipbuilding. I can imagine Ciryatan being brought up on the tales of Tar-Ciryatan and his adventures. And around 1700 SA, I can definitely see Ciryatan standing along the shore of Romena, watching the great Númenórean navy led by Admiral Cirytor sail to the aid of Gil-galad and the free peoples of Middle-earth. Keeping in mind, he would have been 66 years old by the time the fleet left, but young by Númenórean standards. And if he was like Tar-Ciryatan in his youth, he too would have spent his time down at the shipyards during the fleet's construction, learning the craft of shipbuilding. It is said his heart was restless in Númenor, and before succeeding his father, he went on many ventures around the world, travelling east, north and south, but never west, respecting still the ban set down by the Valor. There are no dates of his ventures around the world that I could find, or information on where he ventured to, but I can speculate they primarily happened after 1701 SA, when the war came to an end, and when ships and crew became more available, and most definitely after his father became king in 1731 SA. In 1800 SA, as I mentioned in my previous video, the Númenóreans started to colonize and expand their influence across Middle-earth, focusing at first primarily, I speculate, on the already established havens like Vignalundiae, or more commonly known as Elandair, as it was an established port and landing point during the War of the Elves and Sauron. And most importantly, it was a functioning shipyard, established by Tar-Ciryatan in the 7th century, when he and his venturers used it as a source of timber for ship construction. Unfortunately, to the sorrow and anger of the native people of the forests. Interestingly enough, it was the same native forest people who sided with Sauron during the war, welcoming Sauron, hoping for his victory over what they called the Men of the Sea. An understandable alliance, as the Númenóreans, since Tar-Ciryata's day, had caused mass deforestation in the area, building their settlements and ships. But of course, they were disappointed and betrayed when Sauron burnt and destroyed what was left of the Inith and Middleearth forests, their homes. This, I felt, did not help with future relations between the Númenóreans and the natives post-war, as you will soon see. In 1869 SA, Ciryatan was crowned king, succeeding his father Tar-Ministir, and he became Tar-Ciryatan. And if the rumours are to be believed, this ascension to power was done by questionable persuasion and against his father's true wishes. It was no secret he did not approve of his father's yearning for the West, hoping for an alliance with the Eldar. In fact, it is said he scorned his father for it. If one was to speculate, Tar-Ciryatan may have felt this attitude as king hindered the greatness of the Númenóreans. Whatever his reasoning, his greed for power and wealth was evident. With a great fleet of royal ships, he travelled to Middle-earth and held the native people in subjugation, demanding great tributes from them, bringing back numerous treasures to Númenor, taking the pick of the many metals and gems that had been taken by his men in payment or as spoils of war. More than likely, there were other parts of Middle-earth the Númenóreans expanded to during this period, but nothing is definitively mentioned until the havens of Pelargir and Umbar, which I will discuss in my next video. Surprisingly enough, during this time there is no mention of the elves, no intervention of their people, or even a gathering of the Council of White, which was established in 1701 SA, where it was decided Imladrius should become the stronghold of the elves in Eriador. I suspect the Great War with Sauron had taken its toll on their people, and I can certainly understand any hesitation, the Númenóreans at this period of history were extremely powerful. But it would be a mistake to think the Eldar did not notice this shift in the Númenóreans' attitude and what this may lead to, something I will talk about in my next video. Tar-Ciryatan ruled for 160 years and was succeeded by his son, Atanamir, in 2029 SA. He would live on 6 more years, and he finally died in 2035 SA, aged 401 years. Thus ended the life of Tar-Ciryatan. It's hard to know where to begin when trying to unravel Ciryatan's character. In his early life, he reminded me so much of Tar-Aldarion. I couldn't help but weave his influence into this story. They shared so much of the same qualities, and yet something was so different in Ciryatan. When he became king, he inherited such an unwarranted dislike of the Eldar. Perhaps he felt neglected by his father, due to his yearning of the West and the Eldar. It's impossible to know. But what we do know is, these feelings he would pass on to his son, Atanamir. As you can see, we are moving into a period of history which is considered the first signs of shadow for the Númenóreans, but I must admit, a very exciting time in respect of story and lore. Thanks once again for watching. As always, if you like this, please subscribe, like and comment. Goodbye for now, and may the light of Eärendil guide your way.